Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Today is Monday, May 13th, 2024. The time now is 6 p.m. and I will call to order this regular meeting of Town of Mead Board of Trustees, excuse me. In accordance with the town's remote participation and remote meeting policy adopted by the Board of Trustees on March 13th, 2023 by resolution number 21-R-2023, remote participation will be allowed. The meeting link has been provided on the town's website, designated posting place 24 hours prior to this meeting. I'd like to remind everyone present, both in person and virtually, of the town's general guidelines for public comment at open meetings. The guidelines are available online and on the entry table. There are two public comment opportunities on the agenda for persons in attendance at the town hall to address the board. The first is limited to the items on the agenda, and the second one allows opportunity for any subject, whether it is on the agenda or not. Mary, roll call, please.
Mayor Whitlow.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright.
Here.
Trustee Adams.
Here.
Trustee Broadhead.
Here.
Trustee Harris. Here. Trustee Parr.
Here.
Trustee Schranz. Mayor Whitlow, today is Monday, May 13th, 2024, and you do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Please join me in a moment of silence for the 282 fallen officers who are being honored in Washington, D.C. this evening. All right, thank you very much for your time, and please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next is review and approve agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as is?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright.
Yes.
Trustee Parr.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries. We have an agenda for this evening. Next is our staff report. Ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Mayor and trustees. You do have my report. I want to point out again the retreat that Mary sent out the poll. We're still waiting for a few more responses. It does look like we can't seem to arrive on a Saturday that works for everybody. So I was thinking about resending the poll with some off Mondays. What do you all think about that? I mean, it's either that or we're going to have a retreat with not everybody there. And I think it's really important that we try to have all 7. So we thought we'd send out some more dates, maybe even throw in a couple Wednesdays, because it's really important that we find something that all 7 of you can come. So if that's okay. Okay, we'll resend it out. The other thing I wanted to ask you all, and this is something I was going to ask for in the 2025 budget, but I asked Erica and her team to take a look at what it would cost to pave the parking lot across the street here from Town Hall. I don't know if any of you have noticed, but our parking lot is becoming really full in the days. People are starting to use Town Park just constantly. And we're going to have 2 EV charging stations here in the next month. So we're going to have 2 less spaces for just the average schmoes that are using it. So I wanted to look at paving that parking lot as a way. First of all, you can maximize the spaces because your striping can be more permanent. And so Erica came back with somewhere around $75,000 to $100,000. We could find it in the transportation budget because when we bid out the community center, some of our transportation improvements came in at a savings. So I was going to ask the board, what would you think if we paved it this year? Or we could always wait and ask for it in next year's budget. I mean, is it just generally would that be all right? We have,
I mean, if you've identified funds for it and we've, from a savings from another project, sure, go for it.
Yeah, I've been wanting this for a long time, huh? Ever since we put that gravel over there, been a long time. So, and I do have, I was, this morning when I was putting the flags out Public Works, and I was trying to make a right on, I was going southbound on County Road 7. I couldn't see around this truck. So if we decide to do this, there's be some special way to make sure that people can have, visual
Mhm.
change of, at that intersection. So it's
Yeah,
very, very, it's, I don't know whose truck it is. It doesn't really matter who it is, but I just, when we're going to do this, make sure we're thinking about, visual impairment on that intersection.
sight distance. Yep.
Yeah, whatever you
Yep,
call that.
yeah.
I'm not an engineer, but
Yeah. Some people call it impairment, some
Yeah.
sight distance, but that's a very good point. I mean, we could put a planter in the corner or something, but we would look at that. Because if you filled it up with cars, you would block sight distance.
I'm all in agreement with it.
Yep.
Everybody else?
I just have a
David?
question.
Yes, David, sir, go ahead.
Is there any other projects that could be tied to? I didn't know if there's a separate cost, if you have to bring them in to specially pave that, or can it be done with something else?
It could-
be here.
Yeah, that's part of the opportunity is that we have contractors, for gravel and paving. And so we could glom on to one of those contracts, and it would be, it would be cheaper to do it now than wait a year just because of the escalation. And wake up every day worrying about traffic here because of what's about to happen. And I think some of you have seen it already. They're already using County Road 7 because there's occlusions on I-25. So I know it doesn't sound like it makes any sense, but I think paving that parking lot, it'll make me less nervous because it'll give us a lot more opportunity to park people. There's just going to be a lot of displacement going on when we have construction. And I think if we have more room over there, we will ask employees to park over there to free this up for our customers and people using the park. So if I see pretty much thumbs up, we'll move forward with it.
Ellen?
Oh, just a comment, and it would clean up that area,
Yeah.
not dragging gravel and stuff out on the street or on the sidewalks and stuff. So I'm in agreement.
Thank you. I have one more comment. I brought this up before. Is there any movement on our funding for lighting that area?
Lighting the parking lot?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something that I've looked at expressly. We could still pave the parking lot and do that as a separate project.
Okay.
We can look into it.
I think it's dangerous at night
Yeah.
for our staff to go out in the middle of, in the dark.
Yeah, we could even talk to United Power about just even putting in another pole.
Okay.
With their 9% increase, they should have enough.
Yeah, they
money.
should have all the money in the world.
That doesn't start till June, so maybe they can put
I
it in
know.
by
I
July.
was just thinking about staff and their safety and
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. We'll take a look at that.
Well, I wouldn't think you'd want to do it after the fact, because that's just annoying when you put in a new project, then they have to come in and tear something up, put a light in. Like,
Yeah, well, we would
definitely would want to do it.
we'd put conduit in ahead of time. We'd be ready for it.
thank you. Everybody's okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you have any questions on my report, sorry to go off the reservation, but
Comments, questions for Helen? Anything else? All right, thanks for your time. All right, next is our informational item. Two of them tonight. First one is our community engagement update by our Public Information Officer, Community Engagement Director, Lorelei Nelson. Ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you. Just wanted to give you all an update on where we're at with community engagement. Our youth sports are doing very, very well. We've had some interesting spring. So we had 181 participants for spring soccer. This will be the only spring soccer, the only soccer program that we have for the 2024 year. Spring volleyball, we partner with Carbon Valley, 102 participants. In the fall, we are looking to partner with Carbon Valley, and new this year will be Birth It. So Birth It reached out to Mead and Carbon Valley, asking to join our partnership. So it'll be a tri-town partnership for our youth sports. We'll partner with them for volleyball and additionally for winter basketball. We'll see how this first year goes. And then moving forward, we may come back with a three-city MOU instead of the current one that we have. We have them separate right now. This summer, we're having T-ball and coach pitch. These are Mead teams, and we will continue to play games in Birth It, and we'll practice out at Liberty Ranch. I did have a meeting with the school district this morning in regards to the Mead Elementary baseball field, and they plan to have a crew go over there, hopefully this week, to clean up that area, spray for weeds, and they're going to look and see if they have any funding to spruce up that area. They're not making any promises, but they are going to look at it. And then we'll collaborate in the next few weeks. There's some bleachers over there they didn't believe were theirs. They think that they're the town. So there's some stuff in that area that we need to figure out who it belongs to. But I thought that was good news in that they're willing to look at it and make some changes over there to make it a little bit nicer. We still will not plan to have games or practices over there, but should the community members want to utilize that field, at least it'll be weed free. In the fall, we will have new this year flag football, and we're partnering with Carbon Valley for that. And then again, winter basketball will be Carbon Valley, Mead, and Birth It. Teams will practice in Mead, but they will play in all three cities. Summer programming will have cornhole. We've extended it this year to 6 weeks with a tournament on the final night, and we partner with the Mead Area Chamber of Commerce to host that. Additionally, we have youth camps, our soccer, flag football, volleyball, basketball, and we'll have Crafty Critters, and new this year is Miles of Smiles, which is a toddler fitness program. Super cute. For our older active adults, we do our lunch bunch, which is once a month, we go out to a restaurant. We also do lunch and bingo at the Merc, and we'll be there on Friday for bingo and lunch. New this year, we've added coffee club at Ziggy's. So after Anytime Fitness, if they're needing a bit of a caffeinated boost, they can go over to Ziggy's, and we meet down there and enjoy coffee. We have 2 trips planned this year, one to a casino at the end of September, and then another one to Jester's Diner for their December Christmas trip. I was going to get there. And then we have our functional fitness, which is at Anytime Fitness every Monday and Wednesday. Our community events, this year we had the largest turnout in Mead history for our egg hunt. We will have to look at this next year, and just the site is going to be changing because of the Gold Star Families Memorial will be on that area that we do the older kids for egg hunts. So we're going to kind of look and review and see if there may be a better, bigger location to accommodate all the kids, parents, and parking. We are in the middle of cleanup days. So as you know, we transitioned to Front Range landfill, and their last day for that is May 18th, which is Saturday. And then we'll host that again in October. Fishing is Fun is June 1st. We have our townwide garage sale that's scheduled for June 22nd. This has been moved up. June was a little weird because there was it was a longer month, so we moved it to June 22nd. We are considering moving this to a springtime or a fall time event. Primarily, we've had some resident outreach in the last couple of years just saying that the middle of summer, even beginning mid-June, is too hot for garage sales. So they've asked us to consider changing that. So that's what we're looking at, either a spring or a fall We have our Rockin' and Reelin' that starts in June, alternating music and movies. Our July 4th bike parade, National Night Out is on August 6th. Community Day, September 14th, and then Christmas in the Park, December 7th. I'm happy to announce that we have food trucks booked for every single event. So that's quite a feat, and we'll have a lot of good food out there. We have our partner events coming up. We have the Mead Motorheads Car Show on May 27th, which is Memorial Day. It is their 20th year anniversary, so it's a big one for them. They're super excited. They've been really easy to work with this year and, on top of the game, so that's always nice. And like I said, they're very excited. They're expecting a record turnout for this year. We have our chamber. Chamber is going to be hosting a summer block party on June 8th. And then the Chamber's Trick or Treat Street on October 26th. So general stuff that we're working on in community engagement is the PD Education Initiative. We are expanding our Built for Mead economic development platform. You may know we did a online webinar for local businesses on how to utilize their tools in marketing. We plan on doing a 201 session later this year. Additionally, this summer, we'll be ramping up our iHeartMedia commercial campaigns, which is focused on podcasting and digital ads. So that's something new that we've been working on for the last few months. So those ads will go out to the Colorado area, and they figure out who that hits based on what we're looking for. So we're looking, entrepreneurs, people that are new business owners, people that are looking to expand. So they're focusing on that area to advertise Built for Mead, the availability here, and our desire to work with businesses. Another area that we're working on is information and communication technology compliance. This is an accessibility law that was passed several years ago. The state has finalized some rulings on that, so we're trying to get compliant. Information communication technology is basically any kind of programming software or documents that we use to communicate to the public. So we have to make sure that those are accessible for all people to read and understand. And then additionally, we will have our meet, greet, and eats with the Board of Trustees this summer. We'll be at Founders Park on June 25th, Margill Farms on July 30th, and Town Park on August 27th. And these will be food truck events this year. We decided to switch it up a little bit, get food trucks out there, get some more folks to come out and chat with y'all. Questions, comments?
Oh, green lights, but mine. Can you give us a little bit of feedback on the Arbor Day tree giveaway? How many was given and?
So this was our first year for Arbor Day, our tree giveaway. So we weren't really sure kind of where we were going to land. Some communities do kind of like a gift card. We decided to go with the actual tree. We had 30 vouchers, 23 were picked up. So all the vouchers were given to residents, but only 23 were taken to Public Works and redeemed for a tree. So we had some extras. What we're looking at next year is to do a single day event. I've been talking, JC and I have been talking logistics, and it makes more sense to just have it on one day. Somebody comes in and proves that they're a resident and they can get their tree. So that's what we're looking at for next year. And we'll probably bump up the amount of trees, depending on our budget, to about 50.
Okay, thank you, Lorelei. Oh, go ahead, Deb.
Is this options of trees going to be the same next year also?
Most likely, yes. So how we landed on that was we worked with the arborist in figuring out what would work best for the community and the Colorado native trees. And Bo was really helpful in helping us kind of figure out what would work best here. So those were the ones that we landed on, and they were cost effective.
All right. All right. Thanks, Lorelai.
Thank you.
All right. Up next is our Weld County referral, introduced by our Community Development Director, Jason Bradford. Sir, you have the podium.
So as you probably are aware, surrounding communities will very often send us referrals of projects that are happening close to Mead, and then the county will send us referrals on any projects that are occurring within the town of Mead's growth boundary or influence boundary. And usually they're very innocuous, somebody wanting to do a subdivision of their property for a family member or something. So we don't take those to you, but on any significant developments, we'll usually bring that to you. So the board has an opportunity to help staff come up with a strategy for how to respond to these referrals. And this is one of those referrals that I thought would be important to get your feedback on. I'm not sure how to pronounce this family name, so if I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. I believe it's the Dreith family property. It's approximately 168 acres in size. And on the screen here, I've used a arrow to show there's actually two parcels that are outlined in red. And as you can see, it's the areas in pink are those areas that are currently annexed into the town's boundary. So this property is somewhat outside of the town's boundary. It's about a mile away from the closest boundary. It's zoned in the county, in Weld County, as agricultural. And it's generally located at the southwest corner of County Road 38 and County Road 3. And as I mentioned, it's located within Mead's planning influence area. So basically, this is an area that Mead has established with the county as that area that we would like to get referrals on, and that whenever development happens, we have some ability to request annexations if we think that that's appropriate, or we have a chance to comment on the development. The comprehensive plan for the town of Mead proposes that this area at this point is appropriate for agricultural uses. The proposed use is a solar energy production facility. And just given the fact that the town of Mead recently had a proposal for a similar use that actually was going to be, that actually is within the town's boundary, and the town is, staff is working with the attorney's office on drafting some proposed renewable energy facility regulations that we will be bringing to the board this summer. I thought it was important to bring this to you and get an idea of what the board's temperature was on how to respond to this referral that we received from Weld County. Should the town pursue annexation? Is there any benefit to annexation? So I'll give you.
Jason, can you, before you leave that slide, where on that, I'm trying to figure out where on that slide is the one that we've approved? Where is that? I'm trying to figure out.
You know what, if
Is
you
it
go
on-
south and east,
Is
south.
it the pink down at the bottom?
Yeah,
that it?
that's actually, that is the sugar beet property.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to make sure where it was. And then do we have anything on here that shows us like, because part of the reason that the sugar beet property wanted to do that was because they were right near that, whatever you call that.
Yep.
Yeah, thing.
The
Does this other site have one of those near it?
No, not that I'm aware of. I was wondering that same thing. the description that we received from the county was somewhat vague. You know, this is the county's equivalent to our pre-application consultation. So there's not a lot of details yet.
Okay.
So in the town's comprehensive plan, we have this identified as being appropriate for agricultural uses. Agricultural uses, as described in our comp plan, are generally located at the perimeter of the town's influence area. As you can see here, County Road 1 to the west is sort of the edge of our influence area. The intended uses for agricultural operations are for low-density, single-family detached and other non-urban uses on land that is not ready for development due to a lack of utilities and services. All those things pertain to this property. And the agricultural designation in our comp plan is really intended to be more of a transition from the county as you start getting closer to the town and more urbanized uses. And the area directly to the east of this, that light brown area, is identified in our comprehensive plan as being appropriate for rural residential. So that hasn't developed yet, but that's the designation in our comp plan. So this is staff's analysis of the situation. Are there any pros or advantages to annexation? Well, one of the advantages would be that the town would be able to control some of the design of this proposed development, and we would be able to implement some mitigation techniques, things like buffering, screening, landscaping, design of the fencing, etc. As I mentioned, staff is working with the town attorney's office on establishing some renewable energy regulations and performance standards that we will be bringing to you this July. And if we were to annex this, we would obviously be able to apply those standards to this development. There'd be some minor financial benefits, building permit fees, increased property taxes, pretty minimal though. And then another advantage is every time we annex territory, it opens up a new opportunities for annexation into the future. So those would be some of the advantages. Some of the, I don't know if I'd say disadvantages, but if annexed, Mead would need to assume ownership and responsibility and maintenance responsibility of the annexed roadways in order to get to that property. We'd have to provide police services, roadway maintenance, code enforcement, nuisance complaints, etc. The annexation opportunity that makes the most sense would be to annex County Road 36 out to that property, which is 2 miles of unimproved roadways, which the town would then have to own and maintain. If the use remains in the county, we would forfeit the ability to control this use, the terms of the use, any minor financial advantages that may come from annexing this. And then the use is not really a use that is typically found in an urban setting. I think the Sugar Beet Solar was one of the reasons that that property was, or that project was so difficult, is because it is kind of tends to be more of a rural county type of development. Staff's recommendation, and this is only my recommendation, I'm here asking for the board's temperature on how you would like for staff to respond to this referral. But staff's recommendation is that we do not pursue annexation. There's several reasons why I make that recommendation. Like I said, Mead would need to assume ownership and maintenance of 2 miles of unimproved roadways to get out to the property. Mead would then need to provide services to this property, which is pretty far out there. It's unlikely that urbanized development would bump up next to or come up close to this proposed development for quite some time. So it's unlikely that this development, if it happens in the county, would disturb Mead residents. The financial benefit that we may get from annexing this would be pretty minimal in comparison to the services and the maintenance of the 2 miles of roadway. And as I mentioned before, this use really is typically found in the county. It's most appropriate in the county. So that's my recommendation. That's the information that I have. And really, I'm just kind of looking for a policy decision from the board on how would you think is the most appropriate way for us to respond to this? We could respond with no objections at all. We could respond that we would like to request that the property be annexed to the town of Mead, so we could have exercise some control over this proposed use. Or we could respond to an objection of the use being in the county. We'd have to come up with a reasonable justification for the objection. But that is the information I have for you. I'm happy to discuss this further if you have any questions or comments, and I appreciate whatever input you have for us.
Thanks, Jason. Tricia.
I just had one question. So we did a moratorium, right? For,
Yep.
I can't remember, did we do 6 months or a year?
It was 1 year.
It was 1 year.
Yeah.
So even if we did annex this, we'd basically be telling them, okay, we're going to annex you, but you can't actually do anything for a year. I mean, I realize we've cut that down a little bit now, but we'd still be saying you can't do anything for another 9 months.
So the moratorium will end in this July. So
Is it really that fast? Holy crap, that went fast.
yeah.
Okay, all right. That was faster than I thought. Okay.
And this summer, staff in the attorney's office will be bringing you some proposed design regulations, performance standards that should apply to these types of properties. So by the time this were to annex, assuming that the board approves the proposed regulations that we'll bring to you this summer, we would be able to exercise that control over it.
Yeah, I think we just let it go. My opinion.
Right. Any other?
Let it go.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, that's easiest.
good.
Wonderful. Okay,
Yep.
well, thank you so much.
All right.
All that trouble for us to all just be like, eh.
No, that's what these referrals are for. It gives the town the opportunity to respond. And this was one just with our, Sugar Beet Solar project that was somewhat difficult. I just thought it was wise to bring it to you. So I appreciate your input. Thank you very much.
No, thank you for your report and.
Thanks, Jason.
You bet.
All right, thank you very much. Next, we'll move on to our 3 proclamations for this evening. The first one is National Police Week, May 12th through the 18th. And I've asked Trustee Adams to read the proclamation. Thank you very much, David. Is there a motion to approve the signing of this proclamation?
I motion to approve.
Second,
Your roll call, please.
Trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
yes.
trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion carries. And thank you to the officers that we have in the room tonight. So thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Next is our National Public Works Week, May 19th through the 25th of 2024. I've asked Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright to read the proclamation.
Proclamation for National Public Works Week, May 19th through 25th, 2024. Whereas the year 2024 marks the 64th Annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association, Canadian Public Works Association, and with this year's theme being Advancing Quality of Life for All. And whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, emergency management, and services that are all of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of Mead, Colorado. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals, who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and the children of the town of Mead to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding in the importance of public works and the public works programs and their respective communities. And now, therefore, Colleen Whitlow does hereby designate the week of May 19th through 25th, 2024 as National Public Works Week, urging all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association, Canadian Public Works Association, and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. Given under her hand and seal of the town of Mead, Colorado, on this 13th day of May, 2024.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve the signing of this proclamation?
I'll move to approve the signing of the proclamation.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Mary.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion carries. Thank you, Erica, Robin, and your team for everything you do for us. Thank you. Next is Building Safety Month, May 2024, and I've asked Trustee Harris to read the proclamation.
Proclamation Building Safety Month, May 2024. Whereas the town of Mead is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and essential role our homes, buildings, and infrastructure play, both in everyday life and when disasters strike. And whereas our confidence in the resilience of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. And whereas those guardians are dedicated members of the International Code Council, a nonprofit that brings together local, state, and federal officials who are experts in the built environment to create and implement the highest quality codes to protect us in the buildings where we live, learn, work, and play. And whereas these modern building codes include safeguards to protect the public from hazards such as snowstorms, tornadoes, wildland fires, floods, and earthquakes. And whereas Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our community's largely unknown protectors of public safety, our local code officials, who assure us of safe, sustainable, and affordable buildings that are essential to our prosperity. And whereas Mission Impossible, the theme for Building Safety Month 2024, encourages us all to raise awareness about building safety on a personal, local, and global scale. And whereas each year in observance of Building Safety Month, people all over the world are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety, resilience, and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by local and state building departments, fire prevention bureaus, and federal agencies in protecting lives and property. Now, therefore, Colleen G. Whitlow does hereby designate the month May 2024 as Building Safety Month and encourage all citizens to participate in Building Safety Month activities given under her hand and seal of the town of Mead, Colorado on this 13th day of May 2024.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve the signing of this proclamation?
A motion to approve?
Second,
Thank you. Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Adams,
yes.
trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you, Trish, for signing, reading the proclamation tonight. All right, we'll move on to our public comment period. The board welcomes public comment at this time for any item on the agenda. We will take comments for items not on the agenda during second public comment, item number 10. The board will listen to your comments and take them into consideration. If you desire a conversation, please email the board or the town manager or attend the monthly coffee with the mayor. If you wish to speak during this public comment period, please adhere to the town's general guidelines. Please start by stating your full name and address for the record. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the Board of Trustees. If you are representing a group, you will have 5 minutes. Is there anyone in the room that would like to talk to the board tonight? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to our consent agenda. The consent agenda contains items which are considered routine and are approved in one motion and vote. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as is.
I second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Harris,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you, staff, for putting this consent agenda together for us tonight. Okay, next is our second public comment of the evening. This brings us to that time of the night. This comment period is for any item, whether it is on the agenda or not. All of the other guidelines previously stated apply. Would anyone like to comment at this time? Okay, seeing none, move on to, oh darn it, we don't have any legislation. Darn it. Darn it. Yeah. Next was our elected official reports. Any town trustees like to report on anything? Okay. All right. It's just me. Thank you very much for having a quick agenda tonight. I don't think there's a Nuggets game at all. No. So tomorrow I just wanted to, every year we do, a Mead Elementary third grade government day. And so tomorrow's the day at 9 o'clock and we'll have police officers and some, I don't know, Mary we're going to have some things for the kids to look at tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk to them a little bit about what we do. Mayor Whitlow, you're gonna be here,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then I think, somebody from the community engagement's gonna be there.
Okay.
Police department's gonna be there. We'll be there from the first office.
Okay. Anybody from Public Works? Okay. That's all right. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate tonight. Thank you for joining us, those who are with us virtually, and thank you those who came tonight to join us. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Trustee Adams,
yes.
trustee Harris,
Yes.
trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. The May 13th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees now adjourned at 6:44. Thank you very much. Please drive home safely.